How's it going, Guardians? Shifty here, and the dawning is upon us. It all kicked off on Tuesday's reset, but heading into the weekend, I thought I'd make a video on how you can get the most out of your time engaging with the dawning. Maybe you're a player who's trying to get their hands on a god roll weapon from this year's dawning. Maybe you just want to get some more bright dust to get those Avarice armor ornaments. Or maybe you just want to bake some cookies for your favorite Destiny 2 characters and get a little bit of something in return. Whatever your goal is for this event, I hope that this video helps you out. Before I get into it, if you end up enjoying the video, make sure to hit that like button, and if you're new to my channel, don't forget to subscribe as well. I also want to mention that a lot of my tips are solo friendly, so if you're a solo player who wants to get the most out of this event, I've got you covered. So to start things off, no matter what your goal for the dawning is, you're going to need dawning ingredients. First, you have the ingredients that come from various different enemy types, and these are the uncommon ingredients. Then for your secondary ingredient, you have rare materials. You have a chance at getting these from doing various different tasks like getting solar damage kills, getting arc damage kills, getting void damage kills, generating orbs of power, all kinds of things like that. Now I could give you tips on how to get a ton of some of this material, however I think that you can quickly get this passively by simply farming for Essence of Dawning. Alright, so I want to get some introductory tips out of the way first. If you're just starting the dawning, I highly recommend doing the 2 dawning quests before you start on anything else. Once those are out of the way, or even before that, I highly recommend equipping the Starfarer 7M ship. If you acquired this in previous dawning events, it can be found in your collections under Season 12. If you haven't played the dawning in a while and you don't have this yet, I hear that it's available from Ava Levante for 100 legendary shards. The reason you want to get and equip this particular ship is because it does have a perk on it called Spirit of the Season. This makes it so you get a chance at generating Dawning Spirit whenever you find a dawning ingredient. Now you may be wondering what Dawning Spirit is for. It's to get all of the upgrades from Ava Levante. In addition to that, it's also used to focus your A Gift in returns to specific weapons for the dawning event. You have the first package, which can turn into a Glaciocasm or an Avalanche machine gun. Then you have the second package, which can turn into a Zephyr sword or a Cold Front submachine gun. Each of these require 5 Dawning Spirit and a gift in return. If you want to check how much Dawning Spirit you have but you're not at Ava Levante, you can always hover over your oven and you can see right at the bottom there it says current Dawning Spirit. I have 398. The second tip I have for you is you want to try and masterwork your oven as soon as possible after acquiring it. Now in order to do that, you have to bake at least one of every single cookie that you see here. Once you've done one of at least all of them so you can see the image of the cookie, you can go ahead and masterwork your oven. When you masterwork the oven, it reduces the amount of Essence of Dawning that you need to bake a cookie from 15 down to 10. So doing so is going to make it so you can bake cookies in bulk much easier. So the next thing I want to talk about is bright dust. You can see that it costs 6,000 bright dust to buy an armor ornament set. Thankfully, there are several opportunities to get bright dust right now. Every week at reset during the 30th anniversary event, you're going to find down in this bottom right corner of the Eververse store a free gift of bright dust. And if I remember correctly, that's going to be 700 bright dust per week. You don't see it here on my screen because I've already grabbed it for this week. But thankfully for this dawning event, Bungie has made it easier than ever to get bright dust from the additional bounties at Ava Levante. In previous years, you had to deliver the cookie in order to complete the bounty. This year, all you have to do is bake the cookie. So if you go ahead and grab some of these repeatable bounties, and you go ahead and bake some of the cookies here. So I know one of them was vanilla blades and a telemetry tapioca. So just baking the cookies will complete the bounties. Then, if you have all of the upgrades after you spent your Dawning Spirit, you're going to get some ingredients, some Dawning Spirit, and some bright dust. You can also see you get an Essence of Dawning from each of them as well. And as long as you have enough ingredients, you can go ahead and stand here and continue to bake cookies at your heart's content. Now, the thing that's going to hold you back from continuing to do this endlessly is, of course, Glimmer and the materials required to bake said cookies. And in my personal opinion, the one that's going to hold you back the most is the Essence of Dawning. So with that in mind, I'm going to go over the best methods to get Essence of Dawning. So I did mention earlier that you don't really have to worry about cookie ingredients outside of Essence of Dawning because chances are pretty good that you're going to get a lot of materials while acquiring the Essence of Dawning. So the first method that I recommend is actually to do Legend Lost sectors. Now some Legend Lost sectors are faster than others, so it's going to be faster to farm those particular ones, and since they're on a daily rotation, you may have to wait for a fast one to come up. Some of the fastest Legend Lost sectors are found in the Dreaming City, and some of the slowest are found on the moon. Now even though the moon Legend Lost sectors are pretty slow, you can still get 200 to 300 Essence of Dawning per hour solo. I also want to mention that if you're heading into the Lost Sector solo and you kill all of the champions, you have a pretty good chance at getting an exotic as well. On top of all that, you have a chance at getting enhancement cores as well. If you want to speed this method up even more, you can always head into the Legend Lost sector with a team. That's going to remove your exotic chance, but on some of the faster ones in the Dreaming City, you could get over 1,000 Essence of Dawning per hour. Every time you do complete a Legend Lost sector, you're going to get 16 to 17 Essence of Dawning. In terms of speed and rewards, this is my #1 recommendation. If you do need any sort of Legend Lost sector guides, I do have several up on my channel for solo players. My next recommendation is a little bit slower, but you're going to knock out many different things at one time. And that suggestion is to do the Dares of Eternity. The reason I suggest doing Dares of Eternity, even though it's about 10 minutes per run, is you're going to gain Essence of Dawning every time you complete it. You're going to gain treasure keys for the 30th anniversary event. You're going to rank up your Xur rank, so if you're going for that Lonesome Catalyst, you're going to knock that out as well. You're going to make progress towards triumphs for the 30th anniversary event, as well as the Moments of Triumph. And finally, if you keep playing this, you're going to encounter a lot of different enemy types. This means you're going to get quite a bit of different material, especially if you swap out your weapons and subclass periodically. So while this is not as fast as Legend Lost sectors, I do still recommend it because of the amount of multitasking you're going to be able to do. Now, if you really want to farm some specific materials outside of Essence of Dawning, I have a couple of locations. The first one I want to talk about, you can semi-AFK. This one is going to be found in the Shattered Throne dungeon. Out of the 3 classes, I highly recommend using a Titan, specifically Bottom Tree Sunbreaker. So in order to do this, you have to make your way through the dungeon. Your ultimate goal is to get to the Thrallway. That means you will have to do the first encounter of the dungeon. Lucky for you though, there is no major boss fight prior to the Thrallway. If you need help getting there, you can always check out a Shattered Throne guide. I have a couple of those up on my channel as well. So once you get to the Thrallway, you're going to want to head up these stairs, and then when you're up the stairs, you're going to want to make a right. Overall, you want to place yourself in this corner, and the only thing you have to do to start the semi-AFK farm is to punch a Thrall with your melee ability. This should create a sunspot, and all you have to do is stand there and Thrall will run at you and die in that sunspot. As long as you have the Starfarer ship equipped, you're going to get a ton of Dawning Spirit doing this, as well as a bunch of cookie ingredients. Now, if you don't want a bunch of the taken material, but you have access to the new dungeon, you could always go right to the loot cave entrance. As long as you kill the enemies on the outside, you can keep shooting something like Witherhoard into that cave and killing a ton of hive enemies. Again, you can also use your grenade on this Titan to create sunspots. This will generate a ton of the hive material as well as some of the rare materials as well. So if you are looking for a couple of places to farm the uncommon and rare material, I hope that this helps. Anyway, that's all I have for some quick tips on how to get the most out of the Dawning event this year. I hope that you enjoyed the video, and if you did, remember to like and subscribe. I just want to thank you for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.